The fleet is passing through proper Imperial space now. We are at a mustering point where we are swapping staff, tripper and material. The Khan is leaving us for a while to be granted command over a force of his legion. We will have another few hundred marines. Angron's boys are meeting us here as well. Fulgrim is kinda in a rut over not having his own sons with him, though he is treating the fists well. I've sent word to Big E about having a small force of the 3rd Legion being sent to us. In other news, one of the generals is asked to be granted a frontier world to settle down. His lover refused to marry him unless they properly settle down. He is kinda too high a rank for that kind of posting. A general would be reserved for ruling a crushed civilized world. I'm gonna allow it. The guy has earned it based on his record, and he has already been asked to retire twice now in the last decade. I talked to Angron. I told him properly about my old life and my knowledge. He seemed confused, but said it answered a few of his questions about me. He talked about his time as a slave, and about how much I have helped him. He also told me he couldn't picture Horus as an enemy, or that Fulgrim could fall so low. I told him that was the point in them picking Horus, and Fulgrim was basically a meat puppet at the time. Also that it didn't matter now, that the future was what we made it. I've got Magnus and Fulgrim to open up over some old designs we found. I tasked them with it, hoping it would provide mutual interest, and it worked. They're still a bit frosty, but less antagonistic now. Now that the Khan has some of his sons with him, he's a lot more cheery. He even attended a dinner with Magnus present. They still bickered, but it was progress. Razid had a minor scandal to deal with when a sunny dog slept with an army officer's wife. Had the solar flogged, but bought him a drink. Durin has grown a bit since we left. Has it really been 2 years since we left Terra? He's been asking to be allowed to train, which I allow him, with some big limits. No running into the grounds like the sunny dogs did with me. Emps has sent me word that Fulgrim will get to lead some 200 of his boys. Great. We were going to be losing the Imperial Fists though, as Dorn has been found and is getting his legion right away. Vulcan has also been located and Big E is on his way to him. Russ sent me a bunch of Eldar soulstones, with no context. Just a letter asking me to meet him and Solomon soon, as we'll be nearby soon. By galaxy scale at least. On our way to meet Solomon and Russ, we passed a certain world. It's now a dead world, but our record said it was used as a vault during the dark age of technology. Who knew what kind of loot we would get from it? We had the tech adepts take point, look over every precaution, and ready the fleet to reduce the surface to slag if something went wrong. Slag.
Slag. Molten slag. For you guys that don't know, a slag's a slut from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's a slut.
Yeah.
Slag.
Slag.
Toto slag. It was just a storage place for really old computers. It was all checked for scrap code and other baddies, but was cleared. In good news, I'm sending Mal an Apple computer and a Pong set.
I'm surprised they even still have that for the Dark Age technology.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but when does the Dark Age technology start? From about 10,000 AD to about 15? I think it lasts to 20,000. I can't remember exactly. Let us know in the comments. It's been a while since I went over that section of the lore.
I watched the gas giant from the Grey Citadel's observation deck. It was a purple ball with bands of green and had 2 major rings. I could just barely see some of the nearby Imperial ships and stations. A new mustering point was being made here, as the local ice fields in this system were perfect. We had arrived first. Solomon's fleet would arrive soon, followed by Russ. I was eager to finally meet the second Primarch. My research into him and his legion told me they had a huge Abrahamic theme. They had a blend of Crusader themes with the Jewish icons. Hell, Solomon even slew 72 Witch Kings before Emps found him. His personal banner was a 6-pointed star with a scroll inside. His homeworld was called New Canaan, and his legion were the Templars. Just Templars. I had so many questions. The Templars have arrived. Yay! Solomon was a cheery sort. He gave me orders from the big boss E. The Magnus was to head to Terra. Also Angron was to leave with Russ. Angron would be escorted to his legion's mustering point and take full control of the Warhounds. I'm gonna miss him, but Angron is totally ready. Solomon told me he had some stuff to show me, but it could wait for now. My fleet will be getting more 3rd Legion to make up for the loss of Angron and boys. Boys.
Boys.
We've been hosting inter-legion games while we wait for Russ to arrive. Our mustering point is fully up and running, and we have a few ships collecting ice from the rings. Solomon showed me some relics. Most I couldn't help with. One, however, was a stone tablet that I knew about, or at least one like it. I'm pretty sure this is an old one mural depicting their creations and the war with the Necrons. Solomon was just confused until I explained just who the old ones and Necrons were, including the war in heaven. He's going to send it to Mal for further testing. I had to break up a fight between Fulgrim and Solomon today. Solomon insulted Fulgrim's overly artsy armour as impractical. Fulgrim insulted new Canaanite cultural values. I was cut short after I threatened to make them hug in the corner for an hour if they didn't both shut up. For crazy OP demigods, the Primarchs sure do act like kids sometimes.
Yeah, they really do.
It's because they're all so powerful within themselves, so it's like it's a pissing contest between a lot of them.
I think that's what it is, because a lot of them spent their entire lives by themselves, and a lot of them
don't even know their brothers.
They're quite old at this point, and they're more like like fully grown adults.
Yeah,
you know
so it's just a massive power pissing contest.
And they've always been like the most powerful by far of anyone around them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've always been treated like
they haven't had like equals around them.
Yeah.
Russ was delayed due to having to save the world from orcs. Just a pirate force looking to loot some shit. All well in hand for the Wolf King. I still sent the Khan and his marines to help, just in case. Also because the Khan was bored as shit.
Sounds about right. Like, what else would you be doing? Like, come on.
Exactly. Turns out there was a lost Forge world nearby. They sent a ship to greet us, nearly giving us heart attacks when it entered the system. The tech boys somehow lost the knowledge of this world. We sent some ships to formally bring them into the fold. Solomon and Fulgrim have taken to having poetry battles. What the fuck? These two go on for hours, reading passive-aggressive lines to each other.
What is this, some form of like feminist slam poetry contest going on?
It's honestly really retarded. The Marines are also fighting constantly as well, though thankfully not literally. My threat of making them hug for an hour seems to be preventing blows after just the first time it happened, and they thought I was bluffing. Everyone else thought it was hilarious. Russ and the Khan have joined us. The leaders of each fleet met for a massive meeting. We got news Vulcan is training with Big E. Formal orders for Angron to take charge of the Warhounds, and Magnus is needed on Terra. Fulgrim and the Khan are staying with me for a bit, but likely not too long. Dorn is kicking some major ass lately. Emps is having me direct to a new frontier, but we'll be passing through plenty of Imperial space to get there. As the fleet's divided, I gave each leaving party a gift. I gave Ross a tankard as a joke. Magnus I gave a dreamcatcher. Solomon got a ring with the OG Solomon cross. Angron I gave a rather amateur painting I made. Fulgrim insisted I learn some artsy stuff, literally dragged me to lessons. Magnus left 100 of his marines to help me out.
That's nice of him.
Razitz and I have been cleaning up at cards. Fulgrim can't play for shit. It's driving him crazy, just can't keep his streaks going. I don't get it. He is amazing at reading people. I've given the okay to the Khan to get our land raiders tuned to the way he likes. Now he just needs to get the techies to agree. We're stocked at a civilized world, Cthulhu. Cthulhu. Thunk.
Thunk, thunk, thunk.
World is covered in forests of blimp trees, which are planets that have limbs full of gas that allows them to float in the air. The gas is harvested for human use. It's basically natural gas. We had to crush a few of the country's planet side. Some rather brutal communist dictatorships.
Nothing of any value was lost.
Better dead than red.
Yeah.
One non-communist... Misfit's going to be reading this, going, read the comments. I can see it.
Tell me the comic.
One non-communist state in the south was openly worshipping
Slanesh. That's almost worse.
Now that...
What's worse, communism or Slanesh? Let us know in the comments.
I ordered their cities burned and the troops sent there to be heavily checked afterwards. The Primarchs with me were shocked by the purge and firestorming. I basically told them what I told G-Man. The Khan seems to get it. Fulgrim thinks I'm overblowing a minor cult. I told him he would see more of that cult in time, and why they are such a threat.
Fulgrim falls to Slanesh as well, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Cthulhu needs a lot of work to rebuild and bring to standard. We had to put down several riots over my purge of the cultists. The cult ran brothels all over the world. I was getting news of cults being rooted out all over the place. I was honestly considering purging the entire population if this continued. Jagatai and Fulgrim have been arguing about it for weeks now. The Khan is urging me just to order the cities into camps and be purged. Fulgrim just sees this talk as approving of mindless brutality. I remind him I was making every attempt to avoid such actions. I gave the order. We evac'd the rural population and razed the cities. The survivors were placed in work camps to prep the world for loyal colonists and relocate pure locals. Okay, Hitler.
Alright, hold on, let me get the Lehman out going on here.
Fulgrim is sulking. The Khan wants me to speed up the deaths, but they can at least be used to make resettling easier. I still feel sick for giving the order though. Fulgrim and I share a drink over it. Razit and the dogs are mostly helping round up holdouts. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but it's time for some self-promo. So over the past few months, more and more of our videos have been getting demonetised than usual. A few people have asked about setting up a Patreon and it's not really our thing. We would much rather you check out some of our other sponsors or buy some of our models. But some people have still been asking for a Patreon, so why not? So the Patreon is nothing special and we're not offering anything but general channel support. If you guys have any ideas you would like to see in rewards, definitely let us know down below. It really does help us make more videos our YouTube overlords would disapprove of. Also for you guys that dislike Patreon, because we know a lot of people can be iffy on them, we have a Ko-fi for one-off donations. We also just want to say a big thank you to anyone who does support the channel. If it's checking out the sponsors or buying the models, or even if you just sub to us and keep coming back for our videos. We really, really thank you. Let's get back to the video. Many of the rural locals we saved have been partying over the cities being burned, and their people being worked to death or outright killed. Seems they really hated each other. They have even been lynching their own that had families in the cities. I've already marked this world to be watched by imps, other agents. If anything goes down, this world will be burned. We moved on. The next few worlds were eager to join the Imperium. I took some pics, gave a few speeches, and danced at some parties. I sent the Khan out ahead to bloody some orc fleets so we can start mopping up their holdings. It'll be perfect as many of the new worlds are suffering from overpopulation, and some new frontier worlds were going to be needed anyway. 2 birds, 1 stone. Razits and the dogs kidnapped me. By that I mean they dragged me into some club on a spaceport we were at. Basically forced drink on me. Things got blurry.
Sounds about right.
I woke up with a hangover in a cell with 2 dancing girls from the club. I tried to explain to the guards who I was and asked what happened, but they just laughed and called me a drunk. The girls were nice, though confused on why I insisted I was Lord Anon. Near the end of the day, Razits and the Khan came and bailed me out. The Khan made a joke about me sticking to drinking milk, and Razits had the gall to tell me to tone my partying down. The girls were kind of fired for leaving the club during their shift, so I offered them maid jobs. They were happy to accept. One had 2 kids, a 6-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl, which I offered to hire tutors for. The other had a very sick older brother. I would pay to have him fixed up and offer him a job too. If Razits and the men try this again, I am hitting my panic button for Legos. We moved about through Imperium space with no issues. My new staffers are adjusting well. The brother is on the mend and will be offered a butler job. I asked Dern to help watch the kids till the help for them arrives. He is taken to showing them around the ship. Razit asked me if he should start Dern a more intense training soon. I told him I would think on it. Most of my fleet is based around a forge world. I sent the Khan forward again at his request. He had no interest in waiting on a paradise world while we wait. I'm pretty sure Razit is sleeping with the lady PG. Most of the officers are content to lose their money at the casinos and clubs.
What is it with planetary governors? Like, what is it with the women? They're always slags.
They're always whores.
They're always slags.
I've been enjoying the shows, spas and nature walks with Fulgrim. This planet is a treasure nature-wise. I took Durin hunting before we left. The planet had reserves for giant moa-like birds. Things taste amazing. As we headed back to the Forge world, Razit gave me shit about not taking him hunting as well. I told him he was busy with his pants down and to shut it. Khan was back before us. Odd. Turns out he was approached by Eldrad with a warning that a cabal of dark Eldar were going to ambush my fleet as we passed through frontier space. Damn, that would be bad. Are the Eldar infighting or is this a trap? Either way, I called a series of crisis meetings.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
It's a trap!
There is a lot of infighting with Eldar anyway. However, I think Eldrad's probably wanting something in return for this tip-off. I think he wants something out of them.
We've been getting astropathic messages about Dark Eldar raids. I went with Fulgrim's plan. He and the Khan will hunt the Eldar fleets on each end of the sector. My forces will bunker down in the local capital world, a civil world Gotland. Once the Eldar fleets are smashed, they will reinforce my grip from the ambush. In good news, the tech boys are lending us a few titans. We've been digging in. Bastions raised or reinforced with guns and all the Daka. I've been helping oversee the evacuation of the rural parts of the planet, and the tech boys have prepped mass algae-paste production. Got to feed everyone during the coming shitstorm. We don't know when they will arrive, so I wear my armour everywhere. Not making that mistake again. I managed to stop a riot. Large Town was next to be moved. Someone leaked that it was the Dark Eldar. How they even knew what they are will be researched later. People panicked. Before the troopers could bash some skulls in, I seized a Vox and had a tech boy patch me into every speaker we had. The Imperium is here. We are already securing your home. 2 of the Emperor's sons are hunting the Xenos fleet as we speak. The crowd seemed to stop for a moment. I ranted about us all coming together and overcoming the Xenos. Most calmed down and continued the evac. The rest were quickly detained. Later, the PG and I did a broadcast about what was coming, asking everyone to pull their weight and circle the wagons, so to speak. There was some panic and looting, but most answered the call. We had more volunteers to build defences and shelters than we had need of, so we had them doing busy work. Busy people are not panicking and causing more havoc. I tried to keep helping directly, but Legos dragged me to the bunker complex. Most of the Sunny Dogs are prepping to act as a fast support team. The 1,000 Suns with my group are setting up something to ruin the Eldar's day. One of my new maids, Sava, the one whose brother is now starting his butler training, has spa experience, so I got a massage.
What time for this? Like, seriously?
It really helped with the stress of everything. The PG and I had dinner later and continued talks about our overall plans and measures. The tech boys pulled through for us and got us some Skitarii reinforcements. Almost 80,000 of them. I hugged the Magos that told me. I was having a nice lunch with the PG's family and a few thousand Sun reps when we got the news. The Titans are fully prepped. The tech boys want me there when they do a quick walkabout to show the locals. It will greatly help with morale. You could feel each step this mecha made. It was the size of a damn mountain. I knew just how big these things got, but actually seeing it, I fully understood why they were called god machines now. News from Fulgrim. An Agri world had 2/3 of their people taken before the 3rd Legion forces arrived. Damn, but at least they bloodied the damn Xenos fleet. Plenty of the Eldar had been left behind as well for Astartes to slaughter in vengeance. I'm glad the foul Xenos were butchered, but them taking millions of humans made my blood boil. The Dark City must burn. I had an envoy of Craftworld Eldar asked to talk with me. I agreed and brought 12,000 Suns and half my dogs. Legos was actually visible. I went for my last idea, of half my soulstones up front, the others in a dead drop rigged to blow. It turned out to be Eldrad again. He brought another Farseer with him. She was the only other Eldar with no helmet. She was damn cute too. I mean, for a damn Xenos witch. Don't judge me.
Like, everyone just wants an Eldar waifu.
Her actually moving ended those thoughts. The same uncanny valley effect hit just as hard as last time. It made my skin crawl. I just had to get through this. We meet again, Eldrad. How's you been? He just smirks and chuckles. Gonna be like that then? I raise my hand to signal us leaving. Elf Boy interrupts. Fine, be that way, Lore Keeper. I don't have time for your people's games, Xenos. Say what you came to say or leave. He just adjusts his stance and starts. My peers and I verified many of your claims. They so far seem true. He pauses for a bit. Damn drama whore. Komorra is in full civil war. The noble houses have several Harlequin bases in the Dark City and raided their holdings across the Webway. Well damn, that's almost made my day. The Harlequins have in return mustered for war. Several cabals have joined forces to attempt to seize power while the two fight. So a shit show? Great, let the Xenos kill each other. I gesture for him to continue. Each side has placed a bounty in your head. promising massive rewards and glory for the one that captures you alive. Expected. I assumed they would want what I know. Your point? A renowned witch has sworn an oath to take you out. I believed you would want to know. Do you know who? A Lady Hesperax. I go pale. You know of her? May I ask how? No, you may not. But I thank you for robbing me of my sleep tonight. I toss him a bag of soulstones. The other Farseer steps forward and grabs it. Eldrad gestures to her. I have brought an apprentice of mine and a cadre of warriors to assist you. The younger Farseer begins to walk towards us, but I stop her with a raised hand. So you can kidnap me during the heat of the battle? Not happening. She is the one to respond. We warned your people of the current danger. You dare accuse us of treachery? I glare at her. Your kind has a history for a reason. She just smiles. It's a predatory. I thought you were a seer. We've no need to take you, as that would invite your emperor's wrath. This is the path of the least destruction for my people. Fair enough, but you will be nowhere near me. If you or your troops enter the same district I am in, we will fire upon you. I will personally chuck your soulstones into a star. She flinches but agrees. I give Eldrad the location of the dead drop, and he bails. We gave the Farseer a Vox. She had about 100 warriors and a few hover tanks things. I don't know, I never played Eldar. Not much, but I wasn't expecting their help at all. Still expect them to try something. The Thousand Sons decided to attach a squad to guard me at all times, due to the warnings of the succubus being after me. Well, once I explained just who she was. Makes me feel safer, and helps me sleep a bit better. I wonder how long till the crown cult send their own after me. Jagatai sent word that he ambushed another Cabal fleet. His marines waited for them to begin their raid on a frontier world, then caught them with their pants down, killed them in droves. The remainder bolted. The Khan and marines are licking their wounds and linking up with Fulgrim and company to regroup. Our plan is set. Now we wait. I've been spending my time trying to use my lore knowledge to develop my empty Dark Eldar tactics. I know the 6 Xenos fucks are glass cannons, but they are a bitch to actually pin down. The best I can think of is a hard as fuck bunker network with supporting trenches geared towards quickly moving and aiming heavy weapons. Easier said than done. We just need to keep them here without carrying off people to be processed. But we can't scare them off too badly, or our trap won't work. I still don't know what the Thousand Sons are up to.
Well, that's the end of that thread. However, there is another thread, so don't worry, we haven't came to the end already.
No.
I really am looking forward to this. I think it's interesting to see how Anon is progressing. I really liked how he was actually dealing with, the communist city.
Yeah.
Like, actually dealing with that, and he wasn't... Like, he's really progressing an awful lot.
Yeah, he's really finding his feet.
Yeah, he is. That would be the best way to describe it.
I love this story, and I don't like 40k.
I know, Megan's really not into 40k at all. But no, I think what's really going to work here with the Dark Eldar is now the Dark Eldar don't really do psychics at all. The psychers don't really mix very well. So Thousand Sons being let's be honest, the psychic heavy chapter or legion at this point, they're going to have an awful lot to do, and they're going to have a few tricks up their sleeves. Let us know in the comments down below what you think's going to happen, and what's worse, communism or what was it again? Skaneshi cults?
Skaneshi cults.
Yeah, communists or Skaneshi cults. Both are pretty horrible, but tell us what you think's what's the worst one.
We're not listening to you, Tommy.
Tommy, by the way, you just you can
keep to yourself. Screech in the corner.
Keep all your communist propaganda to yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. The next part will be out quite soon, so look forward to that. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the wee advert. It always helps us out. We'll see you later.
Bye.